episode of Live, Eat, and Be Well. And on this episode, we're going to show you how to batch cook oatmeal cookies. Snackles. We call them snackles because if you call them oatmeal cookies, nobody will eat them. So, I'm going to show you how to make one batch. And I don't like to double the batch into like times 10. I actually make it one batch at a time. I'm gonna probably make it 5 times today. And I do that because I discovered that if I try to double it too many times, that they just start turning out weird. So I just make the recipe, like 5 times throughout the day. And then I'm gonna just bag them up and freeze them. So this one batch will survive my family for maybe a week. But I have some other cookies available, so this might actually last a little longer. Anyway, I digress. So here's how we're gonna get started. First, I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. Then I took my cookie sheet and I lined it with some parchment paper. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. I have here 2 cups of rolled oats. Dump that in. Then I have 2 cups of oat flour, and you're like, I don't have oat flour. You can still make this. I took rolled oats, slapped them in my Vitamix, which you can still see there's some in there, and just blended it up into oat flour. So 2 cups of oat flour, half a cup of hemp seeds. Now, if you don't have hemp seeds, these are optional. You can also use chia seeds. You could use pretty much anything. You don't really have to use them, but I like them. They taste good. They add like an earthy flavor. And then I also have here 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Now, sometimes I don't use the cinnamon and nutmeg, and instead I use pumpkin pie spice, which also tastes really delicious, but I'm kind of running really super low on pumpkin pie spice, so I'm just using some cinnamon and nutmeg. Okay, so that's my dry ingredients. So I'm just gonna sort of squish those together. And I like to do this part first because of the baking powder. And I want to make sure that it's evenly distributed. That's sort of always my concern. But this is such an easy sort of mix to make. You're not going to mess it up. So even if you don't do this, don't even worry about it. Okay, now in this bowl, I have 1 cup of applesauce and half a cup of maple syrup. Now, if you don't have maple syrup, you could use agave. I guess I wouldn't really use sugar instead because the liquid is important. But maple syrup, this is real, natural maple syrup. And this is just an organic, unsweetened applesauce. You can make your own applesauce from apples. I buy mine at Costco. It's just an unsweetened applesauce. It's pretty good. And it's just apples. So, okay, then I'm just gonna stir that together. Actually, before I even get started stirring, I have some non-dairy chocolate chips here. My bag busted, but these are the Costco brand. But my favorite brand of non-dairy chocolate chips, I'll show you, are these Ghirardelli ones. These are hard as a brick because my daughter left them on her dashboard and they melted all together, so I'm just going to chop them up. But I like those, but these just happen to be the Costco brand ones. So I'm going to add a couple handfuls of chocolate chips to these. That gives them a nice cookie feel. And these are perfect for lunches, after school snacks, before bed snacks, after dinner treats, and you can feel good about it because there's no oil, there's nothing in here that's bad. Now, these are kind of dry, so they need to be moist, so I'm going to mix these, and if I can't get them moist, I might add a little bit more applesauce or water or something. I'm using this spatula to stir, which might not have also been the best idea. A wooden spoon probably would have been a better idea. Oh no, there we go. We got it. See, you see how easy these came together? Seriously, you can just throw it all in the I used all these cutesy bowls to measure it out for you, but don't dirty your dishes. Just throw it all in the bowl together. Don't even worry about it. These are not an exact science kind of cookie. You're not going to mess them up. And I will tell you, I have tested these. If you've watched my videos for a while, you know that I did SAT tutoring. And I used to take these to my SAT tutoring students and do for like treats, and they would fight over them. These are that delicious. You can serve them to people who are not vegan and they will love them. They're really tasty, and who would have ever? Okay, so I'll show you how I put them together so you can just kind of see, and then I'll show you what I do when they're done. Let me clean off my board here. Okay, so I just take a spoon, and then I'm just gonna sort of make a little mound. And then I'm just going to pop it on there. They don't need a lot of space. They're not going to spread out like a chocolate chip cookie spread or anything. I'm not even going to worry too much about their size being equal or anything. So I'm just going to fill this up. Then I'm going to pop them in the oven. Now, everybody's oven cooks differently. I have an electric oven. You might have a gas oven. It just kind of depends on your oven. So I would say 8 to 12 minutes. Honestly, it might be that big of a spread. Mine usually take about 10 minutes. So when I'm done with that, I'll come back and I'll show you how I finish. Okay, so I've taken my cookies out of the oven and I actually let them bake for 14 minutes. So I'm going to revise my earlier statement and say let them bake for 12 to 15 minutes. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take them off my cookie sheet and I'm going to put them on a wider cooling sheet, which I don't really know if this step is necessary or not, but I have all this stuff going on. But I'm going to do it anyway. So, Mimi,
I'm helping you.
She's helping. So I'm just going to let these cool off. And that is how we make oatmeal snacks. And then I'm just going to reload and bake these. Now, when the time comes to put these in the freezer, I'm just going to dump these into a Ziploc bag, seal the Ziploc bag, and put them in the freezer. Then when you're ready to eat them in your lunches or for a snack, you just take them out, let them thaw out, and you can eat them. So, Mimi, come taste one.
Are they hot?
It's warm, but it's not hot. Tell me what you think on the camera. Is it the best oatmeal snack ever? Really? You can't even be excited for the video.
It is!
Kids, I'm telling you. Sissy will be excited. Sissy, it's a snow day today, so that's why they're in their pajamas. Sissy, come eat your sisters.
I'll put my little pajamas here. Okay.
What do you think, Sissy?
Burning my mouth first of all, but it's really good, Mom.
Yay! Unicorn hugs. Pegacorn, I mean. Pegacorn. Okay. Alright.
Also known as alicorn. I have to tell you something! My Little Pony is a liar. It's not alicorn, it's pegacorn! Use your logic. It's pegacorn.
Until next time, live, eat, be well, and pegacorns for life!
Maymay's awesome!
Okay, amendment. I thought I'd just put a little addendum on here. Here's my Ziploc bag, and here's just how I put these in there. Nothing super special. But I did want to show that I do try to keep it laying flat and put them all in like a, you know, just like keep them flat and not bunched up. So we're all just flat. Yeah, you see how they are. Like that, and then we're going to have them flat in there. Then I'm going to zip that up. And then I'm going to take them just like this and lay them into the freezer and let them freeze up just that way. And as you can see, I made another batch that I've already started on. I'm going to do that about 5 times. Each batch fills this up. I don't know, people keep sneaking and eating them, but about 1 time. And So I'll have a bunch of those for this month. Okay, so now for real, until next time, live, eat, and be well. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and check out my Facebook page and website.